Hello, collectors. Live commerce is one of the fastest growing marketplaces in the world, estimated to reach up to 2.4 trillion by 2033. Today, you're going to learn how to build a booming global live commerce brand from scratch from someone who's done it. I'm joined by Hayden Pauls, co-founder of Flykicks, the fastest growing sneaker store on TikTok Shop. So if you want to understand how live commerce really works, how trust is built at scale, and how collectors turn audiences into global brands, this episode is for you. I'm Danny Moss, former auction house and marketplace leader at Sotheby's, Christie's, Golden, and eBay, and this is Built to Collect. So, hey, Hayden.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. Let's just dive right into it. And thank you for joining. Let's just dive right into it. So as I said, this is an education platform. So Hayden, we're really just going to go through like how did you build your business? How do you see success today? Um, and particularly with the live commerce space. So let's start with sort of the beginning story, which is what inspired you to start FlyKicks? And how did you learn about sneakers to begin with?
Well, we to start, I started in 2018, which I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't start Fly Kicks until 2 years into selling sneakers. So for the first 2 years, I was essentially just flipping any sneakers I could get my hand on, whether that was buying on eBay and selling back on eBay or trying to get like a limited release in store where I'd wait out for hours and then try to sell it locally or on a marketplace. But I was really doing anything I could. I was like the definition of like a high school hustler who wanted to make money on their own. So that's how I started in like the sneaker industry. Essentially, 14 years old, couldn't get a job anywhere else, try to make money on my own. And I knew sneakers, like I kind of liked fashion, so this was the space. And I started Fly Kicks with my girlfriend in 2020. We At that point she was reselling and thrifting clothes on Instagram. So we both had like a reselling like we could relate with reselling, not the same industry, but in high school and from my area, like you didn't know anyone who did the same business as you. So it was
Yeah.
cool. So we kicked it off really quickly, and we just had so much to relate to. We were dating for a little bit, and then she critiqued a lot of my practices of sneaker reselling, and she said she probably could do a better job at marketing and the sales end of it. Uh, and she wanted to get involved as quickly as possible, and she likes sneakers as well. So just one day uh, we asked like we should want to do this together, and sure enough, that's where we started Fly Kicks. We have the same name and the same logo from when we started when we were in high school 5 years ago. That's how we started in 2020. Started in high school, college, and now we're outside of college. So we've yeah, we've done everything together, and it's been a crazy experience.
So was Flykick sort of the transition from being a flipper that buys from one place and then lists it either on the same place or another to saying like, wait, I can buy the inventory, but now I'm going to put it up on Instagram and actually make this like a brand?
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Back in like the 2018 to 2020 era of sneakers, it was everyone doing the same thing where, like I said, they try to buy cheaper and then just sell it on a platform. No one was really
Yeah.
like making a name for themselves. And yeah, Fly Kicks, right when we started, we went immediately to the consumer. So right when we started, we cut out all the middleman and we started going to the consumer directly on Instagram. So we had an Instagram page, Fly Kicks, and we would essentially post pairs on like feed posts or Instagram posts and try to sell them and uh, have viewers swipe up or DM us to purchase, and we would handle all the transactions through the DMs. Very like non-professional, but very personal, I guess. That's how we started, direct to consumer since day one with Fly Kicks.
Amazing. And I think for most people listening, like this is pre-COVID and sort of like whatnot, I think, and whatnot booming and everyone at home. So you guys are sort of this just earlier than that, thinking this was going to be a thing.
Absolutely. We think about us like we're two high school kids who don't know what they're doing. We're just doing it for fun. Like honestly, we were making like we were making okay money, like money enough like enough money to not get a job in high school. But it
Yeah.
was purely a passion project. Like we did it together. We were able to spend so much time together. And we just both loved the enjoyment of like giving someone like giving business to people. That was it was true passion. So we didn't really know we got set up with a like right timing and a good opportunity with the market, but it just fell into place that way.
So in the early model, when you first started, how did you find customers? Like, how do you build demand?
So initially, like early stages with the Instagram page, we we transitioned Sydney's thrifting account, which had a platform already. She had a few thousand followers on her account already. So we had some sort of Kickstarter with her existed platform. We rebranded it to Fly Kicks, let all the people know. Uh, and honestly, looking back at it, I'm in disbelief of how we actually grew that account so big so quickly because we didn't do like I'm looking back and trying to think what we did to grow and get new customers. Uh, Word of mouth. I mean, we got people to tag us on their Instagram story. So when they received their items from us, they would tag us and we would get a bunch of their friends. So that was like a big lead as far as word of mouth. Uh, that's the main source I can really think of. We didn't do any promotion. We didn't do any paid promotion. We didn't do anything outside of just doing what we did, to be honest.
Were you still in the beginning, did you focus more on sort of drops and getting things directly from retailers, or was it also finding things on eBay on secondary? And if you were finding things on eBay, and other places and then flipping it in your own platform, how did you sort of set up trust in the beginning with your buyers?
Sourcing wise in the beginning, it was from both the retailer and the other platforms. So that's how, like I said, that's how I knew, like that's how I started reselling. And then Sydney also had an experience of just finding good products online and hidden marketplaces and then flipping it on her own platform. So it was a good mixture of both. It was pretty much whatever we could get our hands on that we thought was like sellable that we thought people would like and we could sell. Uh, as far as trust, it was there's no real I think what people drew it in was the authenticity where we're like they know who's running the account. It's two kids, like two people. We had the face to the business, so people knew who they were buying from. You weren't buying from just like a logo, you were buying from Sydney and Hayden. So I think that was a huge component. We also, I think we grew the account really quickly up to 20 something thousand followers. So I think I don't like to say a thousand like more followers, more trust, but I think that had to play into something as far as just our overall presentation of our business uh, was very trustworthy, and that's how I wanted it to be.
I just want to highlight to people, and I'll probably raise this again, and we were talking about it before this recording of just like people should go to TikTok and check out fly kicks. And even to this day, Hayden and Sydney do an exceptional job of making their TikTok shop like engaging and helpful and interesting without any kind of sort of to the point of trust, like without oversell any kind of like theatrics. It's just really very much so the two of them and like incredibly authentic and genuine.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how did TikTok. So was the aha moment when TikTok kind of came into the picture, or how did TikTok come into the picture?
uh, TikTok came into the picture when uh, so to give some context, we were selling on Instagram platform for 2 years, 2020 to 2022, and we were kind of outgrowing the platform where we had too much demand. Say we get a drop of We get 50 new pairs in, we would post it, and all of them would sell day of. So we kind of were finding out like, yeah, we're this is too much. So we transitioned, we found the right time to transition to a website where rather than trying to post all these pictures on our Instagram, we would just list the product and then funnel people from Instagram to our website. Uh, and that worked really well, to be honest. I still remember the first Shopify day. It was a memorable experience I'll never forget. So that's how we transitioned. And then once we transitioned to a website, we decided to try to go cross-platform where we would promote our brand outside of just Instagram. Because right then we were kind of just like an Instagram brand. Uh, so we found TikTok. TikTok, I honestly wasn't like I have a lot different perspective on TikTok now, but when I started, it was just the second biggest platform aside from Instagram. Uh, and it wasn't necessarily something I thought we could like convert off of or anything. It was mainly just because I knew it was such a big platform, uh, and we'd be losing out if we didn't do it. So we just started posting random TikToks about sneaker content. And please don't do this, but if you look at our first Insta or TikTok posts, you'll know what I mean. It's pretty embarrassing, but I keep it because you see the growth. We posted anything and anything, like everything. It was just so random, but we just had fun doing it. So that's how it started, and people actually started picking up on it. We got a pretty good fast following on TikTok, just by posting random stuff, and we we tried out live one time. So live was the big unlock with TikTok, but we went live and we had our shoes in the background, kind of for fun. At that point, nobody was going live. I can confidently say we're the first people on TikTok to be going live with sneakers, kind of in like that commerce space, trying to sell people on a live, but also just have fun. And it picked up right away. Like honestly, we went live in our parents' basement with like a terrible presentation, and it was getting, I think, 3,000 concurrent viewers. And we would just like, guys, if you see any of the shoes that you like in the background, you can check our website and our bio. I remember I was on vacation one day and Cindy went live. It was like the first few times we were going live. We sold out of her entire website on one live. And that was like the real eye opener as far as like TikTok's powerful, live shopping or like live video is powerful. And I've had a whole different perspective since then.
Um, how how did as you've grown on TikTok, um, how has supply sourcing changed for you?
Oh yeah, supply has been completely restructured for the better. So when we had our website and we were doing, like I said, we would go to sneaker events locally. I didn't have a strong supply chain. It was essentially whatever I could get my hands on, we had the demand for. It was just the supply issue. So I knew I could kind of overpay and I could pay anything to get the product. And most of the time, people charge the most at these sneaker conventions. Uh, so I would go to these events and pretty much spend all the money I have. Uh, and then no matter what I'm paying, if I see a shoe, we're going to buy it regardless of the price. We're buying it, we can sell it for whatever's fair. And that's how it used to be. And since we have gotten on TikTok Shop and we partnered with KNET, we have completely restructured our sourcing. So I don't handle any of the sourcing, thankfully. I'm very involved in the product itself, but as far as sourcing, uh, I don't touch it all. We're getting pairs for a lot lower than we would. We're getting pairs for wholesale prices and not uh, over marketplace asks. So it's a lot. We chose this route just because uh, it's a lot more sustainable. We can offer customers more value as far as people buying just because of it, because it's us. It's because it's us and we give good good value.
So, can you explain a little bit of what KNET is, and then can you explain a little bit on KNET?
Yeah, so we to give some background, we were in college and we were running this business in college. We had a storefront in college and It was good. I mean, it took up most of our time in college, but looking forward, we were both a bit worried about doing this post college, just because like can this handle like can we do this full time? Can we live off of this business? We ultimately were worried that like we can continue doing this, but have to have some other source of income just to live comfortably. And shortly at like I think last August, uh, one of uh, one of my close the sneaker community is very close, and you know the good people, uh, and you know the bad people, and the good people stick to each other. And uh, one of my closest people who I knew, his name's Dejan. I met him in 2018 when I started as well. He was starting up as well in college. We're the same age, and uh, we've been in touch with each other throughout the entire 5, 6 years, and we haven't done business together, but we both trust, respect everything about each other. Uh, and he reached out to me in August about an opportunity on TikTok, and more importantly, TikTok Shop. Uh, so he's the co-founder of KNET. KNET is a cross-listing, warehousing, and fulfillment platform for sneaker resellers. So essentially, KNET, we have our own internal buy and sell team, so we're our biggest customers, but we also give our service to all other trusted sneaker resellers. We vet them probably unlike anyone else, and once they're vetted, they are able to sell on our platform. So they can send us their product. We would store it. We have our own internal tech, and then it's cross-listed on every single major platform. I think we're up to over 20 platforms right now. So instead of just trying to sell on one, it increases the speed of sale from like 3 to 5%, or 3 to 5 times. And yeah, they do all the fulfillment. They have their own tech. It's pretty much an A to Z service for sneaker resellers.
And Flykicks then is exclusively doing all of the live commerce on behalf of KNET.
Not just live commerce. It's the partnership arised with us building such large, probably the largest community and platform on TikTok. And then when they had the opportunity to sell on TikTok Shop rather than trying to build it from 0 to 100 by themselves, uh,
Yeah.
they they offered it to us where uh we would we would partner together. We would use all their ops and everything, and we would build the largest platform on TikTok Shop, which we've done very well. So it's not just the live. We do everything with TikTok Shop. Yeah, they're big, like they provide the product fulfillment, uh like it's weird because like I'm the founder of Flykicks, but I'm also like I work at
Yeah.
KNET. So whenever someone asks me what like my role is, it's like I couldn't even tell them because in KNET we're so involved with everything. So I everything I'm saying, I'm in it. So when I say KNET is doing this, it's me doing it as well. It's handled everything. It's just the whole TikTok Shop platform.
And so now as a result of all of this, you're like you just came back from China, you're working, Flykicks is working directly with brands, you work with distributors. Um, what has that what is the long-term vision for Flykicks and what has that experience been like?
Fly kicks itself. I sometimes I have to uh fly kicks. I would like for it to go cross-platform. So not take our experience uh to other platforms as well. Going right now, if you didn't have TikTok, you wouldn't know what fly kicks is. So essentially having a major platform on all these big social platforms, and whether that's funneling them to a platform or like a website or a TikTok shop, just getting full visibility, but mainly having TikTok as like the centerpiece. as far as the KNET vision that I'm involved with, it's going direct to consumer in like the next 5 years. So essentially, uh, yeah, having all this supply and all this stuff, and we know what we're doing in the D2C space. So now it's going straight to the consumer on such scale.
Amazing. And so let's go into a bit of like advice for people.
Yeah.
How, if you were starting out today and you were, let's start with live, deciding about live commerce.
Yeah.
How do you decide, like, how do you decide what advice would you give to someone if I was sort of like, hey, Hayden, I'm deciding between TikTok and eBay Live and whatnot and all these places. What advice would you give of like where people should think about how to look and why? Or is your point of view that it's, similar, good supply generates an audience?
Uh, don't, I can add on top of this, but the first thing that came to mind was don't chase the money. Do not chase the money. It's really easy to chase the money, but when you're going
Yeah,
through live, don't chase the money. Uh, if you have if you can sell it, like if you have good product supply of anything, don't try to get held up on just trying to sell it and get the quick money. Think about like what perception these viewers and what brand you're trying to build. I think easily in this like resale space, people
yeah.
they sell whatever they can get their hands on and make money on. But uh, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend trying to be like that because that's you won't set yourself apart. You're going to be like everyone else, and it's hard to crack that. Maybe just only the bigger people get bigger. But I would say really find what type of experience you want to give to people, and that change like that's different from everyone. So before you even start, think about like why am I doing this? Am I doing this to what type of value are you trying to add instead of just selling a commodity? Because uh, is it an experience that you're trying to give? Is it like for us personally, we have a big women's audience, and the whole reason we're doing these live shopping things is because we see a huge thing of women not feeling super intimidated of shopping inside of these sneaker stores in person. And
Yeah.
they find it's a safe space on live, uh, and that's where our big value and that's where we really started is like that's our why. You kind of have to have a why. It's nothing with money. Like I would lose money. I'd break even on live if I could, just to give people this experience that they're not getting anywhere else. Uh,
That's a great answer.
Money
And
will come, like your money will come anyway. Like you can make your money 10 years down the line where it's like something arises with your brand that you built, but in the beginning you don't chase the money.
it's great advice. And I think one thing to highlight that if people haven't followed it is the value, and we've spoken about this, of the value of time and that live commerce is a big commitment in time. Um, be it like how you're sourcing the inventory, how you're preparing what you're going to say. And I think an important part of like your scalability story is how smart it was to team up with KNET to just sort of say, we can scale faster, bigger, and better if we have fulfillment in a completely more efficient manner, um, going with KNET. What it what sort of advice do you give to people starting out of how they should think about I mean, it's a big buy-in on time and how they should think about their time and where they should focus it. I realize that's a big question, but
No, I
it's
get
a
it.
tricky one for live. Like it's such a tricky one for live commerce is where do you allocate your focus when there's so much to focus on to get off the ground?
It's uh it's funny you say this because we actually in the last month we have since our China trip and a lot of just internal restructuring, Sydney is dedicating 90 to 100% of her work week on live itself. No other things. She's not thinking about anything else. And that's pretty rare for like an owner or founder to be not doing anything else in the business besides being like the face of the business and being present on the live. Because that's what most other businesses they outsource live as quickly as possible. They have someone else going live for them. They have other people talking about their product as soon as possible. That's one of the first things people outsource is live. And
Yeah.
we recognize that, like, and that's a big thing about us is that you are talking to the owners rather than outsourcing. Yeah, we're people are outsourcing different things. So most other people in our position, if they're in a similar industry, they're going to be like, I'm going to focus and I'm going to be still involved with fulfillment, and I'm going to outsource the live. It's quite the opposite for us, where if if someone was watching us, they'd be like, "How are you able to be on live while juggling everything else with the business?" Is because this is our job is being the live, like in front of you real time, and nobody really does that, and it's it's tough because uh everyone tries to everyone tries to do it and consistency. A lot of the owners they try to go live themselves and they get burned out really quickly as far as like having to juggle everything else. So then they eventually stop or outsource it. And I think we just did it strategically where uh, we, yeah, we outsourced everything else besides that because we saw the value of it. I didn't really answer your question, but that's the best I have.
No, it does. And I think to your point, you're talking about it's true that a lot of people either are surprised by the amount and burn out from it, or they try to bring in external, they sort of see it as a business that I'll get an audience and then I'll bring in talent. Um, whereby you guys have really made it know, like our core ethos is to be the owners and be the talent, which has served you because now you're getting brand partnerships deals from like directly from sneaker retailers, which is amazing because they are partnering with you.
Yeah, I couldn't. And when we the I think the craziest thing to reflect on with like the last 5 years is that none of this was planned. It's not like we had a if we're talking education and advice to others, uh yeah, there's no plan for this. There's honestly like we yeah, we showed up every day and we worked as hard as we can, but all this kind of played out to itself. So I think the best thing to take away is that you don't need to like go in with a full plan initially. It's it kind of takes like your talent and your hard work kind of does it's like a flywheel where it works for itself. And yeah, like next week, like we're gonna be doing super brand campaigns for other not competitors, but other like sneaker brands themselves. We're doing like we're gonna be the face of their business just
Yeah.
because of what we established. And yeah, I'm at a loss for words when I talk about that because it's all yeah, it's all so weird.
No, it's amazing. You showed up and did the work and stuck with it, which is, yeah, to your point, a huge part of it. What's let's go to I guess for what excites you in the market today? Be it
Uh,
like you just came back from China. What excites you in your space today that you're sort of seeing happening?
uh, TikTok shop or sneaker market?
Anything you want. Like,
Uh,
what are you excited?
I think. Um, Live is going to be the future. And people throw this around. I know like everyone like throws this around, but yeah, I just got back from China and we're invited by TikTok. So we traveled to TikTok uh, with their leadership, and we were able to spend a lot of time together in like the real businesses, like everything that's going on. China, their Douyin platform, which is TikTok in China, it's I'm like roughly estimating it's like 3 years ahead of the US market. And rather than like in the US, there's 15% of 5 to 15% of sales attributed to live on the platform. In China, it's 70% of all transactions and all GMV is on live video. And keep in mind, it's the second largest e-commerce platform in all of China. So it's not like it's small. This is where everyone's shopping, and where everyone's shopping, they're shopping on live. Uh, and it's that's where I think it's going. So the market right now is and if you're going to the market right now, you're late. Unfortunately, I have to say, if you're just trying to get started, there's people like me and there's other people who are years ahead of this
Yeah.
opportunity, but it's still not too late. I think TikTok Shop, the whole platform, is going to be right alongside of Amazon when we're talking where everyone's shopping in 5 years, uh, and then just trying to make some way out of the opportunity, whether that's being a brand itself or a TikTok Shop affiliate, or even being a TikTok Shop partner where you're giving a service for brands or for the creators. And then the sneaker market on top of that, I think it's looking incredible as far as, I mean, what we're building at KNET is when I made the partnership with them, it was I truly believed in them. Like I wouldn't just be partnering out with anyone. I can confidently say we are the best at like all facets of the business. We have the strongest talent. We have the strongest brains. We work the hardest. You will not like outsmart us or outwork us. It's crazy. You might have more money. Like these big companies might have more money, but they will not like outdo anything with us. Uh, and we're starting to give so much value to all these other sneaker sellers where they're starting to use us. So I think the future of sneakers is KNET, working with KNET, finding a way to make money with KNET, or just find a way to work with KNET and then TikTok Shop as the consumer's main shopping platform. So making a business out of either of those is what I would recommend.
Okay. Amazing advice. We're at time, so I'm gonna ask you one last question that I ask guests. Um, if you could be a collector or in the industry on the business side of um, any other category you want, what would you be and why?
When you mean category, it's like outside of collecting or other
I like
collectibles.
any other collecting be like art, watches, whatever you want. Like what category would you either be a collector in or build a business in?
I feel like those answers would be different if I were to collect and if I were to make a business side, but I'll answer both. I think, uh, oh my gosh, that's tough. It's probably an easy
Yeah.
question, but if I had to, there's, it's a little similar. I would consider, I don't know if clothes, like I would do something with clothes. That would be like the
Yeah.
business as far as like, I think I know what I know with sneakers and I could really apply with business. So like some sort of clothing or clothes would be the business side, and then collecting, I would like to get into watches. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, probably watches, are like my favorite. I don't
Okay.
know if I could
Great.
make a business out of it, but if I were to like be heavy on collecting, it would be watches.
Oh, there's a whole lot of people making successful businesses out of watches, but I can see how your answer sits with apparel and given Sydney's background and just the juggernaut that is live commerce and pre-loved fashion. It's a it's a real opportunity too. So
Hey, we might be
okay.
doing it. We might be pursuing it. We might.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This was fascinating and quite frankly, really, and I feel like I learned a lot about live commerce and your business and just the opportunity in the space. So thank you so much, Hayden.
I appreciate it. Everything. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Hayden, thank you again for sharing how you've built trust and scale in live commerce. If this conversation was helpful, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone building in this space, and let me know who you'd like to hear from next. I'm Danny Moss. Thanks for watching Built to Collect.